There are so many things that contribute to you feeling really, really good about yourself. And if you can learn what those things are and really embody them and practice them, it just increases your chances of being the happiest, healthiest, most fulfilled version of you possible. And today we are going to be diving into a pretty fun one.
So you're at your next networking event, your next barbecue, your next heck, it was just the 4th of July party. You walk into the room, you scan around, and you find that one person who's just like dressed in the most vibrant dress or colors or combination, and they just are like glowing. And naturally you're gravitated towards their energy. And then you kind of pass yourself in the mirror and you're like, whoa, yeah, I feel like I'm not giving that vibe. In this episode, Bianca and I are going to get into all things dopamine dressing, the dope dress principle, and how you can leverage your self-expression to be that one person in the room.
Hey everybody, what is going on? It's Bianca.
Welcome back, Evolvers. It's Emilia. Today, this episode, like we alluded to at the beginning, we're going to have a little fun in this one. So I'm excited that you're joining us today. And hopefully this is the episode, whether it be right when it launches or, man, let's say you're scrolling by and this one seems like, what the heck are they talking in here? It's going to lift your spirits, because when we talk about this, it is all things mood. Now,
before you dive in, make sure you stay to the end, because we have some exciting news that we are going to be diving into at the end of this episode, and some little sneak previews that you're not going to want to miss. So make sure you stay all the way till the end so that you don't miss out.
So when I was younger, I had a grandmother. Actually, I was fortunate to have 2 grandmothers, still do. Shout out to you, my homies. And I always remember having them be like, when we ask ourselves this question, who was the biggest influences of our fashion? I wouldn't necessarily consider myself, at least, fashionable. Like, I'm just going to put that out there. It's all good. I don't really care. But what I do care about is energy. I care about vibe. I care about how I feel and what I wear, how I express myself, and most importantly, my mood, and how I can authentically leverage that which is easily accessible to me, clothes, earrings, right, hair, to really help express myself in a way that just feels true to me. And I remember when I was younger, I had walked into my grandmother's house. Now this grandmother, we call her Nana. She is a music teacher. She has been in music her entire life. I believe she has pieces within the Boston Opera. She was an organ player. Amazing. And incredibly musically inclined. Did a lot of research around in utero development for baby classes and whatnot, and how that develops the human brain. So really, really cool research. She was quite the pioneer. And
go Nana.
Yeah. Go Nana. Yeah. She's a sprightly woman. So on that end, we walk in her house. If you were to walk into her house, so much color. Like, I'm talking someone who had to include every color within the spectrum of the rainbows, like the rainbow's rainbow, needed to have something within her house in every single corner with color on it. So some of us would call it the fun house. Other names for it, like I'm talking stained glass windows, I'm talking oriental carpets, I'm talking like bright pink chairs, like amazing. So artists through and through. So you walk in, and for some people who are like used to like the beige kind of cream colors, you would probably be overstimulated, I think is a fair word. And I remember growing up when I was younger, I would always look at her dress, and as a young kid, I was always like, oh, she's like got such cool style. Like, she's got such cool style. She's just so vibrant. She always had these cool earrings. She always like did her hair cool and crazy, and she just didn't care what people thought about the way she looked. She just cared so much more and prioritized how she felt and what was on her body, right? She always had these cool different jewelry sets, like just really cool is the word that I would describe. And I, for a long time, admired that until I went into like, I would say my teenager phase. And then I started being like, wow, she's really out there. no one in the town that we grow up really dresses that way. Like, and I started to have some weird feelings around this and kind of like judging my grandma, which not fair to her. But then one time I had spent a summer at her house bee, and I was probably a solid 14 years old, very impressionable. So you can imagine at the time, so many peers influence your style because you just want to fit in. And I remember she took me to this one class. She's like, oh, we're going to go to the library or something. And then we're going to go to the YMCA and go swimming, whatever. It was always adventures with Nina. And she takes me to this place, and we all sit down in a room. It's all of these elderly people who are vibrantly dressed, very similar to my Nan. I'm like, oh, these are her people. I see what's going on here, Nan. And the requirements were to sit in a chair. It's kind of like AA style. You sit in the chair, no one says a thing, and you just stare at each other. And I remember thinking, what am I getting myself into? Picture me at 14 years old, squiggling out of my seat. So I later find out in the car ride home what the hell that was. It was called laughing yoga, where essentially you just stare at each other until one person starts giggling. And then that becomes contagious because everyone else, by the time that we were, and this was like a solid hour. So imagine how uncomfortable that was for a 14-year-old. Everyone was just laughing. No one was talking. My central nervous system was like, this doesn't, like, what is going on here? All these colors these people are wearing, like everyone seems happy and everyone's just laughing around and looking and laughing. It was probably one of the most hilarious experiences I've ever had in my life.
She didn't prime you to let you know the intention. She just raw dogged it. It's like, hey, you're going into this event. You don't know what it is. Good luck.
That a lot of exposure by fire. With that being said, so why does this matter, and how does this kind of come back into the fold? I remember I was changed in many ways, and maybe a little uncomfortably small t traumatized by the over amount of joy in the best way possible. But to that end, you know, it's what I noticed looking back at this lens is how much she, out of everyone that I know, leverages the dope dress principle. She will dress herself every single day in the things that she loves, the things that just make her so happy, the things that bring her joy, whether it be the bracelet that she got from an artist at the art show, or whether it be the earrings that she exchanged with this another older or elderly woman at the laughing yoga studio, which I think she did. That's why I kind of looped this in. She just brings so much joy to herself by what she puts on her body or in her ears. And looking back now, it's so obvious, especially with what we know in society, that there's not direct research studies that do show that increased levels of dopamine and quote unquote happy hormones when it comes to what you put on. There is research that supports how when you dress yourself to express yourself, and you do so in a way that helps you feel the best that you can feel, that directly increases your mood. And so there is so much research that does support that. I believe it's called enclothed cognition, I believe is the terminology, where when you dress or put clothes on or earrings or whatever, accessorize yourself in a way that helps your thoughts have a positive self-image, that helps you feel better. And so one of the tiniest things that I think that we're wildly, and again, depending on what culture you're in and what social group you're in, we are wildly under leveraging this dope dress principle, which is essentially trying to bring that dopamine into our bodies, into our neurochemistry, the more and more we can. I have another story, but I'm going to save that to the end. So B,
I have so many thoughts on this.
Yeah, tell me what your thoughts are around this.
Oh,
if
I
you've
have
ever been in
so
a laughing
many.
yoga class.
Definitely
If they were all wearing
not.
black, honestly, if they were all wearing black, I think it would be more traumatizing of an experience of just randomly putting that out there.
We all know and we have all heard, when you look better, you feel better. This is exactly what we're talking about. Apparently, there's now science underneath it. That's freaking awesome. One of the biggest... Okay. I am not picking on anybody. I am not here to talk shit. We've gotten so lazy in how we appear in our presentation just as a society, like a lot of people, and I understand why, because all of the ideas and the notions of how you're supposed to look, a lot of people kind of feel very resentful of it. And it's like, I shouldn't have to look the way that you want me to. So if I want to walk out of the house in sweatpants, then I'm gonna, or pajamas. Like when people go to a restaurant in pajamas, it always blew my mind. But people have overswung to that extreme of like, I don't care and I'm not going to care. And again, I understand we all have that little inner rebel in us, and I definitely have been there. I grew up in a family, which it's so funny we're talking about this. I grew up in a family where fashion was everything. Fashion was the number one thing. Every weekend of ours was spent shopping with my mother, who is addicted to clothes. If anyone were to see my mother's closet, she has 2 of them. They're the size of a small house, each of them. It literally looks like a department store when you walk into there. All name brand stuff, all super lush and plush and expensive and whatever. Everybody knew our family as the best dressed family. That's literally what we are known for growing up and even till this day. So I had a really negative association with it, and I looked like a hillbilly 99% of the time after that, because I was like, F you, mom. It was my rebel phase.
Rebel. Mm-hmm.
Thank God there's not videos of our previous episodes, because in the past, whoo, baby, I looked like dog shit because I was in this. I am being kind. I'm not attacking myself. I understand why I was doing it. I was going through this little rebellious phase of like trying to own this identity of I shouldn't care and I shouldn't have to and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I remember I felt so bad about myself back then because I wasn't actually, my inner narrative and my inner rebel was taking over, but it was overpowering the other parts of me that didn't feel good in the way that I was presenting myself. And I love that people feel safe enough to show up as they are. It's a beautiful thing. And you're missing out on so much by really presenting yourself in the way that makes you feel empowered and powerful. I mean, think about when COVID happened and everyone was just at home, and then working from home started. Everyone's coming to work in their pajamas because they don't have to get dressed up, and it's awesome. But a lot of people's mental health also significantly declined during that time because you're never leaving the house. And obviously everything else going on with COVID, right? But like, you're never leaving the house. You're not getting dressed. You're not showing yourself that you can look good and therefore feel good and whatever, and look good in the way that looks good to you, not the social bullshit status quo. That's why Emilia and I don't do any of this stupid shit that's out nowadays. But showing up in the way that really feels good for you and that makes you feel great in your body and in your skin and for yourself. A lot of people kind of stopped caring. And a lot of people also have said, and we were both working with clients at the time, they're like, I just want to look good. I just want to get dressed for myself. I want to feel like how it feels like going out when you do your hair and you do your makeup and you look awesome and you get dressed, or when guys put on that like really good jacket or that shirt that presses against them and it makes their muscles pop in a certain way, right? Like you look awesome and you feel really good. A lot of us kind of stopped doing that, and I stopped doing that for a really long time. And over the last 2 years, I want to say, I've been exploring that again, and I'm finding my style again, and I'm starting to really love dressing up for myself. And even I work from home, I get dressed head to toe every single day, even shoes, because I know it makes me feel so much better in myself. I feel more like a professional. I feel more empowered. I feel more confident because even though nobody can see me, I can see me, and that's what matters. And I like knowing that when I pass by the mirror and I look at myself and I'm like, oh my God, I look beautiful today, or I really like how I styled my outfit today, it impacts my performance. So a lot of us are under leveraging this. A lot of us are under leveraging these really cool ways to make ourselves feel better. And we are not promoting shopping, and we are not promoting excessive spending. That's not the purpose of this. The
And
purpose of
definitely
this
not
is
fast fashion. No.
we are not advocating for any of that. What we are advocating for is, are you doing the things that you can to help you feel good about you? Ooh, Em, you're gonna like this. I'm sorry, I'm gonna ramble for one more second.
No, keep it.
I have a client. I adore him. I really do. I adore him so much. Shout out to you. I'm gonna send this to you, and you're gonna know who I'm talking about. He does not think he's attractive, and that's one of the things that he and I are working on, is his sense of self. And the other day we were in a session, and I was like, send me, because he lost his hair. And I was like, I'm trying to help him rewire his beliefs about his hair, and that like you can be bald and be attractive. A lot of men are.
Definitely.
And I was like, send me a picture of you when you felt your best. He sent me this photo of him. I was hyping him up like crazy. I was like, oh my God, you look like a male model. Because he really did. It was a fly photo. He looked phenomenal, and it was awesome. And I was hyping him up, and then I showed him photos of men that look like him, that they just look really good in the photos. And I was like, the only difference between you and these men is the energy. You've been sabotaging yourself for so long. You put on weight as a self-sabotage mechanism. We uncovered that in the session. You don't dress up. It is a self-sabotage thing. It's not because you actually don't want to dress up. You're self-sabotaging. You're doing all of these things to basically sabotage your appearance, to validate that you're not lovable and that no one's going to want you. And I said, look at these men and look at you. And I intentionally pulled up photos of men that look like him. And I was like, what's the difference here? And he was kind of triggered a little bit. So I was like, I got you. We got this. The only difference is the energy. That's it. The difference between you and them is a belief. They believe they're hot shit and you don't. What would happen if you actually started putting that intentional effort in, and started putting effort into the way that you showed up and the way that you carried yourself? People would be falling backwards for you. And you're a good person. So obviously people would love to be with you. But it's our energy. And one really simple and easy way to do that is how you present yourself. Now, it's not everything. Don't fall for the bullshit of people who look good, but they're shitheads behind the scene. But be a good person and show up the way that makes you feel the most empowered and confident and sexy, or whatever it is for you that you're optimizing for.
It's an episode that everyone's going to be activated in, no doubt, because of the fact that we all have, to your point, B, associations with control and dress and expectations and sabotage and safety and how we dress. And also there's a lot of really interesting color psychology that's at play. And certain colors create certain responses within our own central nervous system. Right? Just think about the difference between, even if you're looking at Bianca and I online right now, right? Like blue and black. There's different responses, right, to each color that we have. And that impacts our psychology based on our experiences with those colors, right? Think about nature, for example. What is blue and what is black? You probably had some things come to mind. And in nature, right, for me, blue is skies, open skies, and it's the turquoise shell of a robin, right? There's different associations. For B, talk to me. What just came out for you? Oh, no.
I'm like, what's black? My lungs back in the day when I was smoking.
Oh, brutal. Okay, well, that's her association. What was associated to that for me was the darkness of the sky with the stars, right? And so with each of those experiences, we probably just had an emotional experience a little bit different. But what I think the power is of that is that
Oh God.
our psychology is influenced based on the color, based on the clothes that we wear, the earrings, the accessories, the hair, the styling, all that happy jazz. And I think that, again, I'm saying happy jazz because we have the ability within our control. If, and again, I hold humility, not everyone might feel based on their culture or how they grew up or insert belief that is limiting them currently, that they might not feel like that is within their capacity. And what I am saying is that to that which you might be under leveraging today, how can you do one thing within your styling, within your dress that is for you, not for your friends to notice you, not for your partner to pay more attention to you, but for you to pay more attention to you, to feel good in your skin, to feel good in your body. What is that little thing? For me, it's what are the earrings I feel most pulled to today? And that's something that you'll notice. That's usually one of my go-tos. I love earrings. Like I always have, I always will. And now you kind of know and can put two and two together kind of where some of that came from, right? It helps connect me actually to my grandmother's and my ancestral roots. Turquoise goes all the way back, and the different stones that are in the jewelry that I select are from different ancestral roots, right? And so there's very deep associations that I have every single time I wake up in the morning and I'm asking myself, what do I feel pulled to that honors who I am, right? And so that's a question that you can ask yourself today, tomorrow, whenever you see this, even right now. Heck, go do something, put on the different shoes that make your feet feel good instead of the ones that are like, oh, fuck, I hate these heels, right? Whatever they are. And to that client of yours, go do something that helps you move that belief system, that allows you to actually feel like that belief is yours and that you're worthy and deserving of leveraging that dope dress principle. So in closing,
Hell yeah.
you are deserving of leveraging this, as we all are. And my closing episode suggestion is 353. Why are we afraid to learn? Most of us are afraid to learn what our sense of style is. And we don't realize it until we're actually directly confronted with that. Most of us are afraid to learn what our unique dress or style or color is that represents us. And that's an exploratory process. And that can be really scary when you had so much cultural conditioning or gender conditioning or societal conditioning that tells you that you need to look a specific way. So use that episode to help you kind of outgrow some of that stuff as you enter onto this journey. B, what say you?
Said. 392, how to embody a high value person. If you, moment of truth, the surprise. If you want to feel as though you are taking full advantage of all of the opportunities that are coming to you, if you want to feel the most confident, the most empowered, if you want to stop feeling like shit, because honestly, so many of us behind the scenes feel so terrible, and it's not okay that so many people are struggling. We want to be there for you, and we want to give you every opportunity that we can. And so Evolve Ventures group coaching round 3 is going to be launching July 24th is the kickoff session. You are going to be in a room with 9 other people and your girls, helping you to really understand who you are, why you are, how you are, and helping you become the version of you that you never thought was possible. I know it sounds like a big promise, but previous people who have done the group said that's exactly what happened to them. We grow better around other people who are also growing, and so few of us have growth-minded people in our lives. It's why you come to this show. And so if that is something that you are interested in, a very, very, very affordable program. There are no other programs out there that are as cost effective as this. Other programs charge you minimum $5,000 and they do not offer the same amount of value. This comes down to like $97 a month. That's one night of dinner. That's 2 nights of going out with your friends. What would happen if you instead put that money into something that was going to make your future the absolute best it could possibly be? That's exactly what previous members did. They said it was the best investment that they ever made, and that could be you too. So the registration is officially open. You can click the link below. You'll get to be with us, direct access to us, and it will change your life.
We hope you join us. And if you have questions, we're always a DM away. Contact me at Emilia at Evolve Ventures Tech and Bianca at Evolve Ventures Tech for more questions, more information. Otherwise, we have everything that you need to know on our website. With that said, thank you for joining us on this episode, and we are so excited for you, your journey, and evolving with us.
Bye, everybody.